Have you ever been hurt by someone who appears friendly or harmless? Especially, when you really trusted that person. Perhaps you felt deeply betrayed. Anyone who is dangerous but pretends to be the nicest person is often referred to as a wolf in sheep's clothing. Such a person has predatory motives and sees you as a prey. You can find a wolf in sheep's clothing anywhere you can think of. The school, church, gym, workplace, and even your circle of friends. Certainly, a wolf in sheep's clothing is that type of friend you don't want to bring close to you. The main struggle you may face lies in recognizing this very individual. Unfortunately, you may be in a relationship or conducting business with a wolf in sheep's clothing as you watch this. Nevertheless, by the time you are done watching this article, you will understand how to identify a wolf in sheep's clothing. Short story of a wolf in sheep's clothing. Once upon a time in a certain village, there was starvation and many wild animals, particularly the wolves, were dying slowly. Then arose one wolf who had a plan. This wolf has been watching a shepherd and his flock of sheep for weeks. The wolf studied the pattern of the sheep and learned what time they got up, ate and went to bed. After weeks of studying the sheep, the wolf decided to break away from the pack of other wolves to carry out his plan to get food easily. The wolf killed a sheep and clothed himself in the sheep's skin to blend in with the flock of sheep. This was a means to conceal himself from the shepherd. And the wolf succeeded. For weeks this wolf grazed the pastures and played with the flock of sheep. Then, at night while the shepherd was asleep, the wolf killed and ate a sheep. Every day, the number of the sheep in the flock reduced. Eventually, the shepherd noticed the decline in the number of his sheep and became worried. The shepherd decided to stay up at night and watch to his flock. Unknowingly, the wolf embarked on his mission as usual, but this time around things caught up with the wolf. As soon as the shepherd noticed the wolf attacking a sheep, he pulled his gun and shot the wolf dead. Why do you need to identify a wolf in sheep's clothing? Without a doubt, you do not want to fall in love with, work with or live with a wolf in sheep's clothing. You need to know how to spot such a person because he or she will strike you when you get comfortable and let your guard down. Generally, people who pretend to be kind to you but have malicious intents are not easily identifiable because they do not walk around with a sticker on their forehead telling you to avoid them. One vital reason to identify a wolf in sheep's clothing is for you to avoid being destroyed or hurt unknowingly. Also, when you can spot a wolf in sheep's clothing, you will also avoid wasting your time trusting people who are not worth your trust. Remember, your life is too precious to be destroyed by malicious people. Before we dive in, please subscribe and hit the like button to keep these helpful videos flowing. How to identify a wolf in sheep's clothing. Do you know how to identify a wolf in sheep's clothing? To protect yourself and those around you from destructive people who appear to be wolves in sheep's clothing, look for these signs. 1. Disguise as a savior. Watch out for people who pretend to be your savior. Typically, a wolf in sheep's clothing will walk into your life when they see you struggling and will disguise as a savior that will provide solutions to all your problems. Instead of saving you, such a person will destroy and frustrate your life. There is always an ulterior motive which you will never know when you meet a wolf in sheep's clothing. 2. Manipulate people and situations for personal gains. Usually, a wolf in sheep's clothing has the sweetest tongue but sharpest tooth. Upon initial encounter, these malicious group of people seem to be very humble, loyal and helpful. However, they are masking their ugly side by pretending to appear nice in their dealings until they get what they really want. When you are dealing with a secretly malicious person, every step is programmed by a hidden agenda. Besides, every word such a person says is so convincing. Also, a wolf in sheep's clothing studies your situations, emotions and dispositions. In turn, he or she uses the obvious and hidden things about you to manipulate you for selfish interest and personal gains. 3. Exploit your grievances. You need to be cautious about the people who nurse your grievances. Typically, a wolf in sheep's clothing is very crafty and pays attention to your grievances. He or she will subtly take sides with you only for personal advantage. Overall, avoid sharing your grievances with anyone who has not proven his or her loyalty to you. Be cautious about who you listen to and mindful about the advice you receive. 4. Everybody is warning you. It's always a good thing to pay attention and listen attentively, especially when everyone is saying the same thing about a particular person. Most times our emotions cloud our judgment. And a wolf in sheep's clothing is an expert in using your emotions to manipulate you. Specifically, when you have invested your trust and love into the relationship with a malicious person, you will need to listen more to everybody's warning. Besides, most warnings are not blatant. You must pay attention to how everyone responds when they see you hanging with a malicious person. The visual clues, body language and spoken words matter. Now that you know how to spot a wolf in sheep's clothing, don't be naive to the games played by people pretending to have your best interest at heart. Before you leave, be sure to subscribe to avoid missing out on more empowering videos. Also, smash the like button if you've learned something new today.